And a second day of testimony in Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial has wrapped up for the day. The former publisher of the National Enquirer returned to the stand today. David Pecker testified for a little more than 2 hours over the past 2 days. He detailed an agreement with Trump and Michael Cohen, his former fixer, to kill negative stories about Trump and instead run negative stories about Trump's rivals. Earlier in court, the judge got into a heated exchange with Trump's attorneys over whether the former president should be fined for social media posts that prosecutors say violated a gag order. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett is live in Lower Manhattan with the very latest on today's trial. NJ.
And yes, Liz, there were some tense moments today when the judge lost patience with Trump's legal team over the gag order, but that was overshadowed by the eye-opening testimony of David Pecker and the National Enquirer's efforts to promote and protect Donald Trump.
Donald Trump had to know what was coming, taking his seat at the defense table, where he would hear the entire alleged scheme unravel before the jury. His one-time pal, former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker, testified about a secret meeting he had at Trump Tower in the summer of 2015. Trump and his attorney Michael Cohen wanted help, so Pecker made a promise. I would run or publish positive stories about Mr. Trump, and I would publish negative stories about his opponents. Cohen would send me information about Ted Cruz or Ben Carson or Marco Rubio, he testified. That was the basis of our story, and then we would embellish it from there. But Pecker said he made another promise, to be on the lookout for damaging stories about Trump, particularly from women. Why? It is very common for these women to call up a magazine like the National Enquirer to try to sell their stories, he testified. And he agreed to alert Cohen whenever it happened so they could buy the rights to the stories and bury them. When a doorman at Trump Tower claimed falsely that Trump had fathered an illegitimate child, Pecker paid the man $30,000. Prosecutors say the Enquirer paid Playboy model Karen McDougal $150,000 for her story about an affair with Trump. Pecker is expected to testify to that when he returns to the stand here on Thursday. It's all preparation for the centerpiece of the trial, the $130,000 payment Cohen allegedly made to Stormy Daniels to buy her silence. Donald Trump is accused of covering up the payment so it would not damage his campaign. The former president remains under a limited gag order about the case, and he's furious.
I'm not allowed to defend myself, and yet other people are allowed to say whatever they want about me. Very, very unfair.
As for the gag order, the judge reserved decision today as to whether Trump has violated it. Jail time on that is unlikely, but does face the prospect of thousands of dollars in fines. Again, testimony expected to resume here on Thursday. Live in Lower Manhattan, NJ Burkett, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.